Hi, this is Josh, and this is a overview and review of Rockman Zek's Advent for the Nintendo DS. You might know it as Megaman Zex. The first half of this will be an overview of the game, and the second half will be a review. So if you don't want to actually hear about my thoughts, you can just, well, turn it off. So this is the main title screen of the game, and I'm just going to start a new game up here. I'm going to do the easy mode, which is very, very easy. This is the two characters you can pick from, both a boy and a girl depending on who you want, and each one has a separate, slightly different storyline and slightly different attributes, but overall, not a whole lot of difference between the gameplay. The story is unfolded through a series of cutscenes, both in-game and also fun-filled animated sequences. Much like the last Rockman Zex, yeah, almost exactly like the last Rockman Zex. If you played the last one, this one will look surprisingly familiar. After the initial story intro, you get some helpful tutorial tips here on how to play the game if you're not familiar with Rockman. Hopefully you are. Hopefully you played at least one Mega Man game in your lifetime. If not, you are very, very sad. To show you how easy the easy mode is, here's the first boss on easy mode. He is very, 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 very easy. On normal mode, this guy takes a lot longer to kill. Just to let you know, if you played on easy mode, you are a pussy. A horrible, horrible pussy. Play it on normal mode. Don't be a pussy. Like the last game, you can use these wonderful teleporter terminals both to move around the overall world and also save your game. Here's me not saving. To the left, which I'll be going to in a moment, this is a waypoint. You pass one of these things and basically it's a marker for when you die, you start it back up there again. Also, you can teleport to some of them. A much improved area of this game is the new lower touchpad map area. Unlike the last game, you get this sort of mapping right away. You can see this is the world map where I've been, which isn't much as I just started a new game. You can use the stylus to move it around. Hitting the button in the lower left will give you a closer view on the area that you're in. And here we go, showing a more bigger area. And these are all the different forms you can get in the game. If you want to change a form, you can actually click on it this way, or use much quicker modes, which I'll show you later. By hitting start, you get the character info screen. On the lower left there, I'm selecting the energy containers I picked up, like the old Mega Man games. In the middle there, all the different forms I have. To the right, I have all the different items I picked up in the overall game. If I go left, it shows me the different abilities of the character. You can see the different abilities your different forms have. It might be handy. Pretty early in the game, you get your first wonderful biometal form, which is the main form you'll be using throughout the game. I actually prefer it to the other forms. You get a wonderful animated sequence, but notice how he doesn't actually have a traditional Mega Man form. Not at all. There's not a single traditional blue Mega Man form at all. The main ability that this new form has is the lock-on ability. You can do this and you can lock on to 1 or 20 different enemies if you want to. And here I am just locking on and failing to kill these things. If you played the last game, this game is more or less the exact same layout and form. If you haven't noticed already, almost everything's the same. You'll notice more of that later on as you play. And here I am just shooting a very large ball of energy at things. The other cool new item this guy can do is this big cube thing. Basically, he twirls his guns and shoots lots of things with it. It's very handy. If you play as a female form, here she is, she looks a bit different, and her gun sounds like a TIE fighter. She has the exact same abilities, just slightly different stats, and I'm playing on the harder mode here, and notice there's quite a bit more guys in the same area as opposed to the one I was just playing. And I can lock onto a whole bunch of stuff. It's actually a fairly handy thing to use. Because I know people will ask me for this if I don't actually show it, here are all the different abilities and the things that they can do. Just because I know you want to see it. Here's the regular human form. He can crouch, he can shoot a pistol, he can jump. He also floats in the water too. He can't swim, he just floats. I'm not going to show that. Just like before, here's the standard first biometal you get. And charge up shot, the wall jump. He can speed along, lock onto things, use the massive cube of death. I'm not sure what it's called. Sorry. And a dash. There's a hotkey to switch between all the different modes. And next up is the zero mode, I would call it. It's zero. The zero like you played in the other Mega Man games. Even the wonderful hair. Nice thing is the sword is a fairly fun weapon. Charging it up does a very large sword slash, which you'll see here in a second. And charging up your secondary is a large blaster shot. The map on the bottom for both of these characters, exactly the same as I showed you before. The overall world map and the individual level map. As in the last game, you get several other biometal forms. You'll notice these are all the same from last one. This guy, he can float. He also has a wonderful sword to use. And he also shoots tornadoes. That's his charge up for primary and secondary, tornadoes. And the bottom screen actually shows nothing for this guy. He has no special bottom screen. Notice it's blank. Nothing at all. And like before, this guy with the large guns, charging them up, shoots a large fireball shot. Also, he can break through certain blocks with that shot. The bottom, you can program his shots to go and do many wonderful variations and go all over the place, make him go around corners. The ice form, she has a wonderful trident staff thingy. Charging up shoots homing frozen dragon things. The nice thing about her is that she can actually swim to the water, which I'll show you in just a second. Very handy for the several water areas in this game. Her bottom map mode actually shows you this. The little tiny sprite above it will show you where special items are on the map. This character has some wonderful fun stuff. The regular shot are 3 little darts he shoots out. If you jump and fire them, he shoots them at different angles. The charge-up shot is a spinning blade. Also, he has the ability to see at night. In a couple areas it's pitch black and he has a larger range of view. He also has the ability to grab onto things, jumping from ledges onto certain walls and certain ceilings. And there he is jumping, and this is the map on the bottom. Enemies will show up if you get near them. There's little exclamation points. There's an enemy right there. I'm jumping around. Ooh, enemies. The new feature in this game is the ability to take your enemy's complete form, such as this guy who likes to break through blocks, which is basically the main reason why you'll use him. Charging him up and pointing, say, the upwards, he flies up and breaks through blocks. If you charge up and jump and down and over, he'll fly that way. If you charge up and don't do anything, he shoots a couple blades around. All these different boss forms you take all have the same bottom screen, which is the map/mini-map mode. This is the guy from the level map you're playing now. It's a ice submarine thing. It's the second boss you'll fight in the game. Surprisingly easy. I'm not actually sure what this thing does. No idea, really. But interesting enough, he does reflect ranged shots. Notice bullets fly off of him and back at the enemy. You can kill enemies if you just stand there long enough and let them hit themselves. This guy is handy for traveling along pipes, or ropes or vines you come across. Charging up his shot will actually cause an electrical bolt to go up and down a pipe that's next to him, and he'll fire little bladey things. And he has a charged up firing bladey things. Now on the ground he looks like this, completely useless. Almost completely useless to play on any ground area. He fires up and forward. This is basically Sonic the Hedgehog in robotic form, robotic Sonic the Hedgehog. His drawing ability helps you get to a couple secret areas, and he charges up and fires hedgehoggy spines. That's my take on it. He's Sonic the Hedgehog. It's kind of funny. Not since Leaf Man have we had an interesting character such as him. He actually can fly in a straight line, and also his main form of attack is wailing on a guitar. Charging up does a very large guitar wail. Sadly, there's no wah-wah pedal for you to go after. His main attack actually is to swing the guitar at things. He swings the guitar. I don't want to make him any more fun. This guy, I don't really know the use of this character. He only has one ability to fire, bouncing off shots, and his charge-up ability is mainly the ability to create the ability to create a holographic form of himself to get special items hidden behind pipes and walls. That's his ability. Basically used late game to pick up items that you couldn't get to before. The Wasp is interesting. You can actually fly using the Wasp or bee or whatever you want to call her. Pretty handy for getting to high spots. Her weapon isn't that great to use as it only fires at an angle. You actually need to use her to get to several secret hidden areas and to pick up things with her. This guy is basically overkill. I'm not really sure why. You use him to get to some other areas, get to certain blocks. He fires spinning blades from his mouth and snaps at things. You can actually jump on enemies and crush them with his large bulbous whatever. And he shoots teeth. That's his thing. He shoots teeth. Okay. So that's an overview of basically how the game's played. That's really what it is. Here's my review, my thoughts about this game, so fanboys, don't kill me. Alright, before I start talking about the new Mega Man and my thoughts on it, let's have a Mega Man refresher course. This is Mega Man 1, 1987, 20 years ago. Possibly one of the most difficult games ever made for the NES. This thing is impossible. If you can beat it, you're awesome. This is Mega Man, 6 for the NES. Could do a few more interesting things. Notice the graphics have improved since 87. 1993 is when this came out in the US. I die a lot. Okay, this is Mega Man X3, the last SNES version that came out. This was 1995. 96, depending on where you lived. Things look pretty good. You've got a lot of abilities, the upgrades, you had mechs you could get. This was really the pinnacle of console games. And this here is Mega Man ZX that came out last year in Japan and the US. The graphics don't look a whole lot better than the X3. I mean, they are pretty nice. You've got really awesome backgrounds, some cool special effects, taking advantage of the DS, but not a whole lot. And then you have this, Mega Man ZX Advent, which looks the exact same and has the exact same feel as Mega Man ZX, and really has a lot of the same look and feel as Mega Man X3. Capcom has had about 20 years now to figure out how to make a decent Mega Man game, and really, they've tried. They've made 50 different titles with the name Mega Man attached to it, RPGs, but most of them basically the standard format that we saw 20 years ago. Not much has changed. Hell, look at this big flying fly or bumblebee. It's the exact same big flying fly bumblebee thing we saw in Mega Man X for the SNES. Heck, a lot of the guys are the same exact enemies he's faced before. They recycle a lot of them. And I wouldn't be surprised if they more or less recycled the exact same sprites. But when it comes to this game, it's pretty decent. I mean, the last one I really disliked, Mega Man ZX for the DS, wasn't that good. Bottom screen was underutilized, it was a horrible, horrible time getting around, it was just impossible, and the map system was just not good at all. This is much improved, they learned, they've done some improvements, and you have the new boss forms, which are kind of cool. But when it boils down to it, this is the same Mega Man game you've been playing for 20 years. You've got difficulty modes, sure. Mega Man's always been difficult. But, I mean, if you're good at Mega Man, you'll have no problem with this game. I mean, the storyline isn't that interesting. It is Mega Man, after all. Storyline was never its strong suit. So, that's the gist of it. It's kind of the same-o, same-o. If you like Mega Man, you'll like this game. If you want something new and interesting that you haven't played 20 times, you probably want to go elsewhere, maybe pick up Pokemon. I don't know. It's just the same thing you've seen before. If you want to pick up this game, play-asia.com, you can import it. You can find it on the internet for download. Don't download games. That's wrong. Wrong, people. You'll probably be on the US pretty soon. I'm sure someone will post the date when it's released, the official release date, if it gets changed. Google these things. Please don't ask me. Don't message me. Don't post questions to me. I will ignore them. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed a little bit of Mega Man fun. Thanks!